LaLonde, and I'm at the United Center watching the Chicago Blackhawks take on the Colorado Avalanche, and you're watching Neil and the GOAT talk it out on Post to Post.
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. Night one is over. 3 games in the books. It was a night that I think most people would have predicted because the best teams, all the best teams as far as standings won. The home teams won.
It was the good, and the ugly. Instead of the good, the bad, and the ugly, there were 2 good games, and then the ugly one.
The ugly one? What's the ugly one?
Well, if you're a Philadelphia fan,
that
was ugly. That was ugly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk to them. It's your show. You'll do the order, but
I probably won't do videos like this every single day as far as a recap as whatever. I just don't know when I'm going to have time and when I'm not going to have time. But when I do have time, absolutely, because I'm going to be watching hockey every night. You'll probably be watching hockey every night. So let's just start with game 1 and talk about that. Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh. The series I was probably looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
As entertaining as it was to watch a team score 7 goals, I didn't like it because, and I would have said the same thing if Philadelphia had scored 7 goals.
Totally.
It's not playoff hockey.
That's right. You want the game to be in doubt until the end of it.
Like the Winnipeg, Minnesota game, like the Vegas Golden Knight, Los Angeles game.
Yeah.
However, there was certain things in that game that was very apparent. Number 1, Pittsburgh came to play. They were skating like stallions. They all had serious looks on their faces when they scored. It wasn't a lot of smiles and stuff. It was, we're here to do business. We're here to win. And we're here to win a 3rd cup, and we're starting in this game.
Yeah.
It was very, very apparent that they were serious. On the other side, it was very apparent that Philadelphia,
they weren't ready.
They looked tired. They didn't look ready.
Yeah.
There was no chemistry. They could not hit the net whatsoever. The couple of chances that they did have, one specifically, Murray was there, made an unbelievable save.
He was there,
set the tone
early on, and it was only 1-0 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Philly could have tied it if Murray hadn't come across to the left that quickly, and it could have been a whole different game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it wasn't.
The giveaways from Philadelphia.
They were brutal.
And Pittsburgh was just doing Pittsburgh things. Like, not only were they coming out with 110% effort, they were in the right places. They were cycling the puck so well.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry from last year is still there.
Yeah.
Gensel always knowing where to be on the ice when he's on the ice with certain players. Malkin going end to end is just...
I think Gensel ended up with 1 goal and 3 assists in that game, and Crosby got his hat trick, of course. And that goal shot out of the air.
Madness. Yeah. It's a very impressive team to watch.
Oh, man, unbelievable.
Yeah. Hold on, I want to make sure I get it. Yeah, I'm not looking at my notes on purpose today. The Winnipeg versus Minnesota game. This was an amazing game.
Fantastic.
Because, well, the whiteout, because all the fans, that
so
arena,
cool.
Just that in itself, amazing.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to this game than just a game because Winnipeg had a lot on the line. They needed to win this game to stop the curse, and they did.
They did.
And it was close because they got out to a lead, and then Minnesota showed some resiliency, came back, tied it, took the lead pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The Winnipeg showed some resiliency, came back, tied it, and it was a close game.
It was a close game.
It could have gone both ways. Dubnyk played amazing. I thought he made some unbelievable saves. Hellebuyck played really well. Both teams were skating so well. Minnesota really did look way deeper than they did in the regular season. Definitely flying under the radar. They played well.
They played very well. Dubnyk especially.
Yeah.
They gave the local fans, or the local barn, rink, whoever did the voting, gave him 2nd star. 40-some shots on him. And even at that, some of the analysis I saw after the game was that Winnipeg didn't really play all that well. They didn't bring their Winnipeg game that they could have brought, and that the game was closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Winnipeg enough to notice that, but you might notice it more than me. But I thought Winnipeg played a very solid game. They weren't outstanding, but Minnesota played really well. They came to play, and they almost stole it.
Mm-hmm. They did. There was a point where Minnesota, you're talking about, where you said Minnesota or Winnipeg wasn't playing typical Minnesota hockey or typical Winnipeg hockey.
Yeah.
Jeez. There was a point after Minnesota scored their second goal that Winnipeg shut them down completely.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
they didn't have
Yeah.
Minnesota didn't have any offensive zone time whatsoever for probably like 6 or 7 minutes. It was all Winnipeg. So it was cool to see both teams show resiliency at different points of the game. So it's going to be a really, really competitive, interesting series.
It really is. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. And the rink, the people, the fans were just unbelievable. And Minnesota will do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
In their barn, because Minnesota is the headquarters of U.S. hockey. Really,
hockey state.
It's the hockey state, and now they've got a team in the playoffs that has a chance to have a little upset here and go on a bit of a charge.
It's a good team.
They're a very good
team. It's a good team.
And Dubnyk especially, if he keeps playing like that.
Yeah, that's what I said when I did the series preview. Like if Dubnyk plays like Dubnyk, Minnesota can go far.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Game 2. It's going to be electric.
Be really good.
So the next and final series, the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Los Angeles Kings. Did you watch the opener to the game?
I did.
What did you think of it?
Cheesy. So cheesy. But in a good way. It's Las Vegas.
It's in a good way because, exactly. It's Las Vegas and it's unique.
Totally. That helmet coming down. One of the Montreal Canadiens based sportscasters on the TSN 690, I think it might have been Connor McKenna, said, News Bulletin, that thing just melted the ice and the game's been postponed because there was just so much flame and all that kind of stuff going on underneath that helmet. It was just a joke, obviously, but it was so cheesy.
I didn't mind all of it except for the part where the dude with the sword came out. That I still didn't mind it because it's
Vegas.
It's funny. Like I enjoyed it because it's Vegas. I wonder if other teams around the league are going to look at this and feel like they have to do something like this. Like I wonder if Florida looks at this and be like, maybe we should do something like this.
I hope not. Like if this is going to work at all, it has to just be Vegas. It just has to be their quirky thing.
I agree.
With the Elvises all sitting in the front row next to the penalty box. And what's with Jeremy Roenick cranking on that manual siren? Is that their equivalent of what Nashville did with? They always had a country superstar up in the end of the arena.
But that happens every game. That whole thing happens every single game.
But it's different people. So it's going to be the same kind of thing. We're in the playoffs. We're going to see probably increasingly popular stars.
Maybe.
Not necessarily even hockey stars. Maybe the next siren cranker will be Celine Dion. Or it'll be Penn and Teller. Who knows?
She's too frail to turn that thing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But it's like that in football as well. The Minnesota Vikings have that huge horn in their stadium there, and that sometimes they get people to blow on that. But it was an electric building. Someone actually was there and sent me some video from their seat, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
So I got to see it from just a different perspective. Shout out to whoever that was. I don't know your name. I don't think your name was on Twitter. Just your handle. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And
the game itself was very good too.
The game itself.
Despite all the sideshow that
I'm
was
still
going
thinking.
on.
I'm still thinking about all the things that happened to leading up. But the game itself, like I predicted, I was right. So it was a low-scoring game. I thought it would be a low-scoring series. First game, 1-0. Quick goal, very quick goal.
Yeah.
I was surprised, and then Quick was like, nope.
Yeah,
done.
Shea Theodore got, I think, a seeing eye shot there. Went through a lot of stuff.
Tipped
and everything. And I thought, okay, this is early in period one, or the first period. I actually said it.
You did. And the other
Did I say
video,
it before?
I said National Hockey League instead of NHL.
Really?
Yeah.
We're becoming the thing we hate.
Yeah.
Fairly early in the first period, that goal went in. And that could have been a floodgates opening, wide open hockey kind of goal.
I think that was the feeling that everyone got.
That's the feeling I had. And then, like you say, Quick said no.
He was unbelievable.
Crazy good.
Hellebuck was good. Murray was good. Dubnyk was really good. But Jonathan Quick was amazing. The lateral saves, time after time after time, just these unbelievable lateral saves. He's so quick. He's so acrobatic. I almost said aerobatic. It's so impressive, and it's daunting if you're a Vegas Golden Knights player, because you're like, how do we score in this guy?
Yeah.
Like for the next 3 games at least. It's going to be a very tough series for Vegas.
And how do you like the fact that Fleury gets a shutout?
Yeah.
In his first playoff game with Vegas.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. He played very well too.
He did. He played very,
Very
very well.
well.
He didn't see as much action as Jonathan Quick did, but
No.
he played very, very well. There was a point, I don't know if you saw it in the game, it was in the third period. They were kind of pushing the puck towards the side of the net. I can't remember who it was. And kind of ran into Fleury. He lost his glove, he lost his helmet and his stick.
Yeah.
And he was standing in front of the net with like no equipment, looking at the ref like blow the whistle. They did blow the whistle, but
They did.
it just goes to show you how willing he is to put his body on the line to stop the shot, because he was out of his net at that point, was squished up against the post. So he's dedicated to make the save any possible way he can. So it's really impressive to see that team do that last night.
Yeah. What did you think about Doughty?
Man, it's so easy to get him off his game.
Unbelievable.
I noticed it when in the seasonal games when they would play Calgary, and Tkachuk would just follow him around the ice and stuff, and he would get him off his game. But like Doughty he's so emotionally invested in the other people on the ice. He cares a little bit too much about that stuff, and he gets himself in trouble.
Yeah.
He was in the penalty box a little bit, and then he laid that hit.
That hit, I don't know what's happened today, if anything, but
There's definitely a hearing. That's all I know.
Yeah, there was talk of at least one, maybe two games on that, because I actually didn't see the head contact the way the commentator saw it, and I saw it replayed a million times. I saw shoulder to shoulder for the most part. The head did snap, but I don't think the contact was on the head, or at least the angles I saw. But I didn't see all the angles. I don't know. I've seen hits like that I thought were totally clean, and I'm not a Doughty fan. I'm the farthest thing from a Drew Doughty fan. But yeah, he could be in trouble.
It was on the line.
It was on the line. Yeah.
It was a dangerous hit for sure. He had his head down. I don't think Doughty was intentionally trying to hurt him.
I don't think so.
Do I think that he was trying to lay a massive hit because it's the playoffs? Absolutely.
Totally.
So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I'm not even going to make a prediction as far as suspension and stuff. You can't really, because this is the playoffs. Suspensions carry... if you get fined 5 games in the regular season, if the same hit happened in the playoffs, they don't give you 5 games. They give you 1 game or 2 game, because...
It has such an effect.
Yeah, the time difference of how many games you have left potentially is so impactful.
Yeah.
So he won't be suspended for any more than 2. I think 2 would be pretty max. I think probably 1, and I still don't even think he's probably going to get suspended. But
that's right. He could just have a slap in the wrist or a fine. A lot of it will depend on how the conversation happened when the hearing took place, if it's already taken place.
Yep.
Maybe probably by telephone. You can't pull someone out of a playoff series and fly them to New York to face the music.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bettman, I don't know if the disciplined folks are scattered around the country, but Bettman was in Vegas last night, and he should have been in Vegas, and he was, because this is his baby, really, and George McVie's baby. What a tremendous night for that town.
The thing I noticed about Vegas is they don't play the line matchup game like other teams, because the way that Gerard Gallant coaches the team, it doesn't really matter what line is on the ice. That line knows how to match up with whoever they're playing against.
Yeah.
And I think that's incredibly dangerous. And Gerard Gallant himself said to whoever was in... This is a story for... or a conversation for after this conversation about them having interviews with the coaches mid-game.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, during the interview, he said, I have my lines that I like to match up against the Kopitar line and stuff, but generally, it doesn't matter. So, like, he's pretty confident that that's cool. It's not really a strategy. His team's just that good, so it's just a fact, not a strategy, really.
It is, and one of the commentators earlier on in the game last night, talked about how Gallant is such a player's coach, and how he rolls 4 lines all the time. And if I was a 3rd or 4th line player, and I knew that my turn was coming up and I was going to be up against Kopitar, I would play doubly hard to not make Gallant look bad, putting me out there.
Absolutely.
So he's getting that from these guys, these 3rd and 4th line guys. They're bringing more energy to their shifts because they know they have to become equals on this team. And what a great motivator. Dangerous it is.
And that 4th line specifically actually had a lot of offensive time in the LA end. They were cycling the puck so well. So, man, I feel bad for LA that they have to deal with such a deep team right away, because it's a challenge when you see such a good defensive team like LA plays such a deep team like Vegas.
Yeah.
So it makes for such interesting hockey. So and it was just that. But back to the interviews on the benches and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
And the constant going to Jeremy Roenick wherever he was in different parts of the arena and stuff. I understand it. You're exposing lots of new people to the Vegas arena who maybe have not watched a Vegas game this year. I get it, but it was again cheesy a little bit. He was up in this bar that kind of overlooks everything. It comes up to like a big point at the very top of the arena. And he was there at one point, and then he was standing with the drummers at one point, and then he did this thing at the beginning, like you said, like you were talking about earlier, and then he was in between the benches talking to some coaches and stuff. It's just, oh man. But I don't think that media should have access to any NHL players or any NHL coaches during a game.
I totally agree.
I don't care, like they do it during a whistle, obviously, but still, it's during a game. Just like we don't need to hear those questions, because hockey interviews are the worst of any sport anyway, because there's such softball questions that we already know the answer. They're rhetorical questions that don't mean anything.
Exactly. It's something clearly the league must have mandated, that the coaches have no choice. Like right now, the coaches have no choice but to have a post-game press conference. They must. Even if you're the coach of the Philadelphia Flyers last night, you've got to have a post-game press conference.
You have to do it, yeah.
The last thing you want to do is walk out there in that giggle fest
Yeah.
and talk to the media. So the NHL has mandated that. They must also have mandated this access to the coaches during stoppages of play, but during a period before the end of the period. And I think it's awful. I think it's very unfair to the coaches. Do they actually talk to the players too? I've never seen a player.
No.
But it's very unfair to the coaches, because there are billions of dollars on the line, all told.
Yes.
And would you want a reporter to go up in the flight deck of your aircraft with 10 minutes left in the flight and say, so how's the flight going? Are you happy with the flight? Is everything going well? You know, how's the landing gear? How does this do? What does that do?
It kind of feels like that, though. You're right.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't like it.
A little complaint, but...
Yeah. Now, and maybe Jeremy Roenick is not the guy to do it either. It could be that. I'm not a Jeremy Roenick fan at all. I think he's
I'm not either,
a showman. If it was an actual sports journalist, I would feel a little bit better, but I'd still be against it.
What about Pierre McGuire?
Totally against it.
Yeah, definitely.
If Pierre McGuire was in line beside me on McDonald's, I'd be totally against that.
The thing about Pierre McGuire, he's a close talker, and it's just awkward because it's Pierre McGuire, and he said some very questionable things to other men, and when he gets that close to people, it's just,
And
I question his motive.
yeah, well,
basically.
I don't go that far quite, but Pierre McGuire, put it this way, Pierre McGuire must be aware of the talk about his closeness and his passion for big legs and this kind of thing. He must be aware of it. So he has an opportunity to dial that back or change the channel, and he refuses to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't do it.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
Anyways, we'll leave it at that. Unless you have anything else to say on any of the games.
I just thought it was the good, and the ugly, I would say.
What was your favorite game to watch of all three?
I have to say, man, it's hard. Now that you asked me that, because I really, really enjoyed the Winnipeg-Minnesota game, but I think the most exciting game was Vegas because of the history-making aspect of it. Winnipeg has been in the playoffs in the past, even if it's the other franchise, and Vegas has never had a playoff game ever in the history of the team. They're not even supposed to be in the playoffs, and there they were. Not only were they in the playoffs, not only did they play in the first round, they won the game, and they got a shutout. Like, that just is mind-boggling, and I was happy I had a chance to see it.
Well, Winnipeg was in the playoffs a couple years ago, but they got swept in
Yeah.
Anaheim. But for me, it was Winnipeg, Minnesota, just because of the whole both teams showing resiliency, coming back and from behind, scoring goals and stuff. So I like that aspect.
When Anaheim did sweep Winnipeg a couple of years ago, Bruce Boudreau was the coach, wasn't he?
I don't remember, but
I think he was.
every single game was close.
Yeah. And now they have a chance to... How you doing, Bruce?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who was the coach.
I think it was Bruce Boudreau.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably right. All right, so that probably wraps up this video. Thanks, guys, for watching. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the first night of hockey. As you're watching this, or Maybe you're watching this after the games tonight. Game
5 more.
or night 2 will have been over or just beginning. I don't know when I'm going to release this. So, anyways, hope you're watching lots of hockey like we are. Hope you're having fun. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And we'll see you in the next one. Adios.